Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. How lovely to see you guys. How are things out there? Life still going well? We all still making it here? How are we doing? So look, welcome. What I want to do today really is just to welcome you once again to the channel. Here we go. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Morning, Indra. Good morning, Indra. How you doing? Good morning, Sean. Good morning, Brian. How are you guys? Lovely to see you. Great day today. I've just been out for my walk. It's so beautiful out there. It's so kind of peaceful and gorgeous and marvelous and just slightly like it's been raining a little bit. You can probably notice that wherever you are. Good morning, Mr. Applegate Projects. How lovely to see you. Hello, Arlene. How are you? Great to see you guys. How are things out there? So today, very exciting day today. We're going to be moving your goals into a different different direction now. So I just want to recap just a little bit so that we're all clear on where we're going and what we're picking up. Good morning, honey. How lovely to see you. How is the weather over there in South Africa? Is it okay? I hope it's good for you. So I want to recap what it was that we've been doing, just to remind us all, so some of the things that we've been talking about. The first thing we wanted to talk about was good morning, Andrea. How lovely to see you. How are you doing? And Emily as well. Good morning. You guys rock. You are amazing. Yeah, this is a round of applause for you guys for showing up. Yay. I really do want to acknowledge you for a moment, actually. You know, this is one of those things, this is one of those times where actors are kind of caught in a bit of a limbo and they're not quite sure what they should be doing. But you guys, oh look, now Honey's going to make us all very jealous. It's sunny out there in South Africa, it's 22 degrees. What is it like here? Can't even begin to imagine. Let me just check, see if I can find out. What's the weather like here? Oh, no, it's not on my calendar today. Oh, well, never mind. Anyway, it's nice, it's lovely, but it's nowhere near 22 degrees. Of that we are certain. No doubt about that at all. So, just to remind us, what we're doing is we're looking at... Good morning, Melissa. How nice to see you too. And you like the music? Absolutely. This is what we do. So, just to recap, first of all, what I was saying. It really means a lot to me that you guys are doing what you're doing. You guys are going to stand out because you guys are actually showing up every single day. I know what this takes. It takes a lot of effort to get there, to make sure you're going to be there. And I really appreciate you and I honor you for what it is that you're doing and the way that you jiggle things, you organize things so that you can be there. I really appreciate that. And I just want to thank you and say well done for doing that, because that's so important to acknowledge yourself and to keep yourself knowing what it is that you're doing, because you're creating something really rather special. And I salute you. Salute sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? No, you know what I'm saying. I really admire what you're doing. I really do. So just a little bit of a recap. First of all was the learning state. Do you remember that then? You maybe have that sort of image pop into your mind now of the learning state that you had there when we started off, looking at your inventory of what it is that you have going for you, everything that's working inside your brain, the way that your brain is working, these brain cells, the amazing bone structure that you have, everything that you have going on inside of you is extraordinary. And when you go back to that young child looking up and seeing everything happening, you had all that ability. It's all still there. We still have this ability, this capability to be able to learn new things and to have a good time while we're doing it. Because kids, babies, they just love it. They lap stuff up. They just go, this is amazing. I'm learning all these new things. I'm learning about self-taping. Well, babies don't learn much about self-taping, unless you were one of those children. Maybe you did. Maybe you had that particular kind of background. So you've got your learning state, okay? That's the great place to start from, that you can use that every time to begin to focus on your goals. When you go back into that place, it gives you a place of humility, a place of confidence, a place of creativity, a place of change and possibility. And when you come from that place, you feel good creating your goals. Then we talked about how we're going to get the goal, what goal we want. We're going to choose goals that we're going to make attractive for us. Yeah? Do you remember we did the exercise about making goals that are attractive and those that are dull? The paperclip, the piece of paper, the old plastic cup, whatever it is, boring stuff, and the stuff you really love doing. The stuff that fills you up, that moves your submodalities into a completely different place. And just a brief recap on that. Submodalities, you probably know about the main 5 modalities. We have sight, hearing, touch. Well, let's put it this way. Visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. This is the strict NLP way of calling it. Visual, what you see. Auditory, what you hear. And that can be sounds inside the brain as well. Kinesthetic, that's your feeling. Then we have smell and taste. All of those 5 make up your modalities, the prime modalities of the way that the brain works. This is one of those, it's a universal truth for the entire planet, which is kind of fascinating. Once you understand modalities more, you can understand what it is, the way it is that people use, let's say, negative political advertising clearly plays on certain emotions. It plays on certain feelings, right? Okay, that's what they're doing. They're charging up the modalities in terms of people. But there are also positive modalities, so you can change the message. When you change the message, you can change the way things are going. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to just give you a little bit of a recap. This is the NLP communication model. So you recreate the goals, and we use our senses, the 5 senses, to create the sight, the sound, the touch, the smell, and the taste. We bring in all of those senses to bring in the goal. It passes through, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to generalize what's going on in terms of the creation of positive thoughts and ideas, and this will affect our internal map and representation of the world. And as you grow, as you change, you upskill. It's one of the biggest things that I found it's one of the things that I talk about an awful lot, is that wherever you are in your career now will not get you to where you want to be. You need to upskill, you need to up level, you need to change your internal representation. So the way that you think, your thinking skills need to improve to make the changes that you're actually looking for, because you can't get there from where you are now. You need to make these changes, and that's what we're working on today. So all of this internal map changes your state, talking about the learning state, for example, or the feeling of confidence is a great state, or excitement and energy is another state, which affects your body, your physiology, which creates your behaviors and your actions, okay? So that's the way that it works. Going into submodalities a bit more, if any of you would like this, those of you who are TAM members, it might be good to recap the power of submodalities, because now you know a little bit more about it, because we're talking more about it. Submodalities are an extraordinary thing. They make such a difference. So those of you who have this, you can have a look through the power of submodalities. Anyone who hasn't got one, I recommend, first of all, joining TAM. I think that's really a good idea to do. And this is the thing you can do is look at these. We're going to look at the visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Inside the book as well, we talk about the driver submodalities. We talked about timelining. Remember about your timeline, so that you're focusing your direction. And we're going to be using that a little bit later in the day today. Good morning, Siobhan. How are you doing? Nice to see you. I'm just telling everyone I appreciate you all very much for showing up, and I really do. That includes you. So everybody here, the driver submodalities are the powerful ones. If you notice, for example, I'm just reminding, Arlene had one the other day when you were talking about, your timeline and where it was placed in your mind, and we shifted it straight and then we pulled it back, right? That choosing and finding where the specific submodalities are that make the biggest difference is so important, and that will work really well for you guys. Often, in my experience, it's been the location of the goal itself. Excuse me, that was a sneeze and a half. Beg your pardon. So, the actual location of the goal inside, where you place it inside your brain, the one I found to be the most common one for actors, and that's not to say that anyone else is wrong, because if you have it differently, that's fine. But if you don't, most people have large submodalities. The driver is central and is placed in the middle of everything. It's big, it's bright, it's bold, And that can often be the driver because it increases your sense of feelings, okay? Finding those as well, thank you, Siobhan. Siobhan says, bless you. Finding as well whether you're associated or dissociated. These are also hugely powerful things. Those of you who've been coaching with me know that I'm forever saying, you have to own what it is that we're talking about. We're talking about, you need to own something. You can't say, you know how it feels when you go into because that's dissociation. You see you're standing outside looking at yourself. Okay, you can see yourself outside of yourself. When you're doing that, you're not in the moment. It's a big, big, big issue. Really worth noting. And whenever you're doing self-taping or auditioning or anything like that, make sure you're in an associated state. It will make a huge difference to anything you're doing. We also break down the visual submodalities, the auditory submodalities, and the kinesthetic. They're the three main ones. Visual, we've got black and white or color. Usually it's color. Near or far, usually it's close. Bright or dim, usually it's bright. And other examples here. Auditory as well, the location, wherever you have those feelings of, I was talking about my cheerleaders, my gospel choir I have singing behind me wherever I go, and I have them behind me, and I can turn the volume up, and they're located behind me now. There's a huge, like the Albert Hall sounds coming in, whenever I want to feel great, I just imagine these singers singing away, going, yes, and it just cheers you up. It makes you feel great. So that's a useful thing. Loud or soft, kinesthetic. Again, what kind of a feeling are you feeling? Are you feeling a strong, steady pulse? Or is there a really intense feeling? Or whatever your way that you feel the feeling itself, that can have an effect on you as well. And again, we break down those. So those of you, anyone who's not in TAM who would like this, just drop me a line, peakactors@me.com, and I will send them over to you. So going back into this, so now what we're talking about is what we're going to do today is how we set out a plan for achieving the goal. Because you've got your goal, and what I advise you to do is to choose the one that we worked on, your main goal. You remember the three, and just do the top one. But you want to do this with all of your goals. So the process itself, you want to do 3 times. Yeah, and reminder, this will be recorded, so you can get a copy of this later. Now we're going into developing a plan and how to use your brain. So take a moment and just begin to relax. And just have a little moment. And let's do the 3 breaths process, because that's a very powerful one just for helping us to get into a good state. Because the more we can get into a good state, you remember the learning state that you're in? Learning how to learn new things and being excited by that. And now we're going to develop the plan for achieving the goal. Now, TAM members, you can use the additional process as well if you want. You use that, the one I'm talking about, the ha breath, that particular breath. You can use that with the way that we create using the image. Yeah. Those of you who are TAM members, you can go ahead and do that. Anyone who's not, we'll just do it this way today, and it both work, but the TAM way is better. Okay, so visualizing your goal. The first thing we want to do is to visit your goal itself. So return to the time when you've just achieved your goal. Remember that the goal is stated using the well-formed goal conditions in the positive, happening right here, right now. Got it? So be in that future and enjoy that future. So for me, if it was the Matt Damon one I was talking about, I'd be visualizing me working with Matt Damon. There's the visual picture. I'm stepping into that picture. I'm really enjoying it. This feels great. You can say things to yourself as well. This is great. I got this. This is fantastic. I love this. This is amazing. So what we're doing, okay, is encouraging yourself. Notice your feelings as you look around. Listen to your own thoughts inside your mind. because the goal is achieved, you're celebrating. It's fantastic. Sense the date and the time. Get a sense of it. And realize how much you enjoy having reached this stage of your mission. Taste the sweetness and the joy of having realized this goal right here, right now. Now see the future. Turn and look farther out into your future from this point of having achieved the goal. Look and see how your mission continues to unfold out into the future as you look further down your timeline, and you can see more and more events just popping in there now. And now see the past. Turn around and look into your past down the timeline. Notice the pathway that got you here to this goal that you're talking about right now. See in your past that earlier you listening to Nick here with the music going on. See that person and notice the path from back there to where you are now. And what I want you to do now is to walk back along the side of the pathway, examine the way you achieved your goal. Stay alongside the pathway and begin walking back in time, looking at the pathway. Now, your wise and unconscious mind that we're talking to now, because you know you have a conscious mind and your unconscious. But your conscious mind is good at all the logical stuff, but your unconscious is where the magic lies. And your unconscious is how we make these goals happen and appear inside your life more and more out into the future. Certain people may have helped you. Maybe as you're walking, maybe certain learnings occurred to you. Maybe a stranger came in and advised something extraordinary that you hadn't thought of. Maybe something magical just happened out of the blue. Watch and hear and enjoy what actions made it possible to achieve this goal. Now, there are certain steps and actions that you carried out, and maybe a few of them show up really clearly, crystal clear, in extraordinary vivid images. And maybe some of them might be a little more fuzzy, a little hazier, and maybe you need some more information as you begin to become more and more curious about what's happening in those events. You can notice specific steps on the pathway. As you look at the pathway, you'll notice many specific steps. Ask yourself, how did I bring about my abilities and act in the world to get to the place of this goal's achievement? See and hear the resources, the abilities, the actions, and the contacts with people. All those different elements that led step by step towards your goal. Take your time. We have time now. Take it. Delight in seeing what you did to achieve your goal. Notice what happened after that one action. See the many actions, the new resources, the new abilities, the new skills as they happen. And as you see these steps, see how it is part of your unfolding mission. Now, having walked alongside that pathway and having observed the many specific actions and abilities that got you there, make note of the sequence of events and the time that it might take you to do those steps. And allow this to just be easy and enjoyable. Now go back to the present. Return to the present moment in time with a new appreciation for the steps that you took on the path to your goal. And now you're back in this moment. Appreciate the goal. As you look ahead to your goal, pay attention to how wonderfully attractive that goal is. Shimmering, buzzing, shining, vibrating, calling you. If you want to take more time to make that goal even more compelling and attractive, then go ahead. And with that, you can double those feelings, double the size of the imagery, double the intensity of the feelings, double the sounds that surround you, that are cheering you on and making you feel good right here, right now, as you look out along your timeline and see your goal coming towards you now, making you feel connected, confident, happy, joyous. Feel that expectation building inside your mind and body system as you delight in the present about your future that you know is coming your way right now. And now come back into the room. Just come back into the room and allow yourself just to come back fully present into the room. How was that? Ho ho ho. How did that go for you guys? How was that? Let me know. What was that like? Did that feel interesting, strange, different, unusual, quirky, bizarre? What was it like? What did you feel knowing that you can have that goal, that it's yours? You already have it right here, right now. Let me know in the comments. How was that for you? Let me know. Are you all still a bit spaced out? Yeah, man. Indra said that was amazing. Great. Great. Now what's happening is that this is what we're doing is we're using the power of your brain to use your ability, because there's no such thing as the future, no such thing as the past. There's only ever the present. But when you have your present that already goes, Brian says he got a clarity and felt infinite. Wonderful. You see, when you get clear on what, it was fun. Excellent. This is it. This is what we want, guys. This is wonderful. You see, when you feel this now, what's happening is that your unconscious mind is being trained through the way that I'm coaching you, the way that I'm actually suggesting things to you. You're probably hearing me say things like, you can feel this right here, right now. I'm actually using sort of skills to help this to be embedded in your unconscious, and your unconscious remembers every single thing, every single part of the journey. So the more you dive into this kind of work, the more you allow your unconscious to hear everything that is moving and swirling and changing. And how was that like in terms of the journey? Did you notice certain things happening? Did you notice that you were able to do some extraordinary things? Now, Andrea says she felt really positive and excited about achieving it. Great. From the audition to my agent saying got the job first day on set. It was really, really clear. Fantastic. And Kishore. Hello, Kishore. How are you? Nice to meet you. I was looking at your page the other day. Kishore is from India. I'm not sure where you are in India, but tell me. It's a pleasure to meet you. I love India. I've been there a couple of times, and I love India. It's a wonderful thing. So tell me, where are you from? Let me know. Yeah, you see, what we're doing is we're training your brain to actually work in a way that is going to make this more achievable for your brain. And as you go to sleep at night and you allow yourself to think and dream and wonder about this kind of thing, Siobhan says, took me back to remember people helped along the way. Yes, absolutely. And visualizing into the future felt brilliant. Wonderful, wonderful. And Melissa says, a deeper love of appreciation for the work I've already done. That is so powerful. That is so powerful. Thankful the support you've had along the way. Exactly. What this does as well is it brings in this extraordinary sense of gratitude for what we're doing. And when we feel that connection to all those people that have helped us along the way, every single person has people who come in at certain times to help them and encourage them and move them further down the line. Honey says it felt wonderful, positive, and feather light. Now, isn't that a better way to experience these things rather than experiencing the kind of, the sort of the oddness of something or the stress and the strain of things? Isn't it easier to experience this kind of thing at this level? When you go to sleep at night tonight, you can allow yourself to mull over this. And we can use more and more ways and means of being able to utilize this. And now you've got this whole plan now that you can use. And remember, you can go back over this because the recordings are there for you. What you can do is you start from your position of, the learning state. Check out your timeline. Remember all the things that we talked about that. We talked about the goals and how you increase the submodalities. Again, if you want to have a look at that, come back and look at, if you haven't got it, look at that. Anyone who's a TAM member? Who's a TAM member here? Anyone TAM members? Who are the TAM members? I know Melissa is. I know Hani is. Anyone else TAM member? Go back and have a look at what we're doing here. Okay? Go back and have a look at all of this that we're covering and use this to dive in, to go back in, to maybe revisit some of the videos inside TAM. They will give you a completely different experience now, because you'll understand more about this. Because I'm able to give you this more sort of personal coaching. You can feel that connection more and more deeply. And it will make more sense to you, because the more you revisit, the biggest question I get most of the time, because I can actually, I can look, I've got all these statistics inside and I have analytics, so I can see who's coming in and who's doing what. I know who's doing the training and I know who's not, right? I can see some people have done like every single one. Some people can not so much, a couple of people just do one or two, that kind of thing. Right? If you want these changes to happen, if you want the changes to happen in your life, you need to practice. You've got to practice this. It isn't just, Nick, we turn up on a Wednesday and Nick goes vroom, 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 and it happens. You want to encourage your unconscious mind to make this what we call a new pattern of behavior, going back into this communication model, right? Okay? Yeah, Sean says she didn't want to come back. That's great. That's wonderful. What you're doing is you're going to be achieving more at the unconscious level. And what we're doing by repeating and going over, we're changing. Can you see how we build every single level? You wouldn't have been thinking like this before, and you're going to notice new changes happening at the unconscious level on a daily basis. When you start putting this stuff out into the world, you will change the way that things happen. So let's put it this way. When you started this course, were you as aware of your 5 senses as you are now? Your sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste. So whenever you're creating your goals, we're using our senses now to create the goal, right? We're bringing it in. We're trying to generalize, okay? And we're deleting the stuff that doesn't work. The old patterns you can let go behind you now because they don't work. Generalize everything that is working for you at the unconscious level. When you generalize this as a way of looking for goals, as a way of actually creating a plan for your future, when this becomes a generalized condition of your life, you begin to generate more and more of the same. That's what's happened to me. The more I've done this stuff, the more I've done the work, I get to the next level. It's about the application. I can say to you guys, this is all you've got to do, but if you don't do it, you got to do the work. It really is important. You've got to do the work. So do go back, do revisit, and do keep having a look. And again, you've got any questions about this, this is the kind of stuff, drop me a line and I'll do what I can. But can you begin to see how you can upskill your level of thinking? Right? I believe you're already at that space. You're in a different place now than you were when we started this. Am I right? Let me know. So we're beginning to, you can see how we looked into the memories. We've started to change some of those negative memories. We've deleted some of them, or we've actually distorted some to make them in a different way. You remember the negative image that we took and we put the music underneath and turned it into a picture frame? When you do that, that's a positive use of distortion. So we're changing those, we're losing those, and putting those old memories back into the past. The more you remove that stuff, the more you open up for what's coming your way. Then we're talking about the language. We're going to dive deeper into that as we go further into the course. We're going to be talking about that and about the new ways and means of doing new things, okay? You'll change your decisions. This is about making the bold decision. Andrea, we were talking about that, weren't we, the other day? When you make bold decisions, when you make a bold decision to change things, you've upskilled yourself. You're making a different choice, yeah? Now, in the meta programs, that's way too complex for here, but we do know that what we've been talking about is what I call the rule of three. Everything we've been doing, we've often done it 3 times because we have a meta program that works in relation to that. So can you see how we're beginning to change the internal map, the representation of your goals? Okay, is this all becoming clear? Let me know again in the comments, is this clear? So you change your behavior and you change your accent. Your accent? No, yes, that's right. I do with a completely different accent now. I started seeing Nick Donning. He was extraordinary. Anyway, that's not the idea. But when you did Breakthrough to Success, we were talking about all of those things. Can you see now as well how these layer in? And I'm urging you again, go back over this stuff. If you think, yeah, maybe I've got a belief that isn't working for me or something like that, go back into Breakthrough to Success and change it using the belief change processes so that you start to feel that connection. Bring up your motivation. Look at the way you use time. Check all these things out. Yeah? Is that all making sense? Jolly good. I hope so. Please remember to... Indra, like my Northern Ireland. That's good. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Please remember to do that. And tell your friends. Bring them along. What we're going to be doing on Friday, I'm going to teach you this thing called the New Behavior Generator. I was actually going to do that today, but I wanted to dive much more deeply into this particular thing. So that's what we've done. If you any questions about that, I think that had a really good, more bold and brave. Great. Excited, not fearful. Wonderful. You see, this is what we want. This is the kind of thing. I'm going to play that again. Where's that? Look at that. Feel more bold, more brave, excited, not fearful, because fearful is a thing of the past now. Anything that we did that caused you any kind of, panic, worry, upset, stress, strain, all of those things, put the picture frame around it, change the music underneath it, and yes, you can do the two together. If you've got a particularly, negative thing that really upsets you, use this as well. It will still work. Step further back from it, step back outside, watch, look at this up on the screen of your mind, this awful kind of thing that you had going on. Let's remember this awful event that you could see. Put the screen around it. Post it there now and change the music underneath it. Lachlan has a great question. Can your goals be too big? Well, put it this way. Well, the way I coach with goals, I think there are two types of goals. The main goals that we're doing at the moment are what we call the create goals, right? These are the ones that you're creating using the create formula that we talk about inside TAM. Inside that is more, it's about the specificity of your goals. I think it's very important to get really clear. If you want to, let's say, for example, if you want to, lose weight, it's much easier for your brain to go, I want to be at, let's say, 88 kilograms in, 3 months time. Well, let's be a little more ambitious. Let's say 88 kilograms in 3 weeks time. Okay. If you're very specific about a date for that, and you use this process that we've been talking about with the developing of the plan here, using your unconscious to hit those targets, that's much easier to keep clear on, because it's very precise. But can your goals be too big? My goal, my big goal, this is what I call my big hairy goal, the massive goal, absolutely extraordinary, right? If you have a big goal, my big goal would be to end the needless suffering for actors on the planet. That's a pretty big goal. When you think how many actors there are on the planet, how many actors are actually engaged in this stuff, and how many actors are suffering, right? It's a big goal, but it's a huge one. That's really to do with mission. I would say that's the difference. That you have there's a goal that is a mission, which is your why, which is your purpose, why we are here, that sort of stuff. When you get into that, I think that you can have no goal is too big. And it's when you hear people, when you hear, what do you want? World peace. I mean, it's a huge goal, but it's a noble goal. It may be difficult to achieve, instantly, but it is a noble goal. So can your goals be too big? If they're there, would you share in the comments? Can you share what it is? Write a big goal down. Actually, let's do a little question and answer. Let's just talk about mission for a moment. What is your purpose? Why are you here? Why are you here on this planet, right here, right now? Why? Let me know. Pop it into the comments. Why are you here? To do what? And why? What is your purpose behind that? Maybe this will help you, Lachlan, to discover that actually having a huge goal is amazingly powerful. If you have something like that wakes you up, well, yeah, there you go. Thanks, Lachlan. That's fantastic. And we're going to be building on that, because what got you there won't get you here, okay? Right? There. Now, Lachlan's saying, had the best acting year ever after following TAM. Absolutely. And now what's happened is we're going to have to go to the next level, okay? When we go here. So whatever got Lachlan to where he was going, now we've got to go up a notch. That's the same for all of us. It's the same for me. When we're coming out of lockdown, I've got to reskill. I've got to get myself back up into a new frame of existence. I need to get myself physically ready. I was talking to my agents the last couple of days. It's all coming back online. We know LA is back online. Hani told us the other day South Africa's back online. That affects actors over here because we film there. That's one of the things that happens to a lot of people over here. I think, Lachlan, did you film in South Africa? Am I right? I'm not sure. Anyway, so these are the kind of things that are happening now. Lachlan's coming back on. London's coming back online. Dublin's coming back online. All of that. Okay. You're here to be me and a good working actor. Absolutely. Do you have a bigger purpose behind that? Being yourself is wonderful, but why are you here? You want to be a good working actor. For what purpose? What's the why? When you start to answer the why you are here, Why am I here? Am I here just to be a working actor? Of course we are. I'm here to be a working actor too. But I want my work as an actor to contact audiences. I want my work as an actor to connect with people's brains. I want to inspire people to think about stories. I want to encourage people to have new challenges. I want to engage with people so that they think about their lives in a different way. I want to connect with them so that they feel more of their humanity. Do you see what I'm saying? The more you dive deeper into where you're going, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Dedicate a few minutes every day. It's exactly the kind of thing that it really is worth doing. The more you do it, and it doesn't have to take long. I think that's part of the way the brain perceives overwhelm. The thing I write about in the book is whenever you get overwhelmed by something, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Bring it down. Christine wants to being a healer. Absolutely. Being a healer to do what? To heal specifically how many people? What kind of people? What area are you looking at? The more you can use the specificity of the goals, you'll target more of the people that you want to heal. Do you see what I'm saying? There's the difference here. This is the difference between this huge thing, right? Yeah, healing through entertainment. Absolutely. Totally. Absolutely. Yeah, that's very much that's absolutely where I'm at. That's absolutely that we're healing people, we're healing conflicts, we're healing change, we're healing the idea of kind of like making people feel better. This is the kind of stuff that's really important. And when you come from that place, there's nowhere big enough. So Lachlan, what is your big goal? Where do you want to go next? What's the next big thing? And that's the way we move on to the next level, yeah? By continually asking all these now. Well, Andreas, beyond the acting, yeah. Rescue animals and people who feel unloved. I'd like the money to help people. God, I sound like Miss World. You do, but that's okay. When you own these things, they don't sound so weird. I know that's true for me. If people, and let's be honest, when people say, "What do you do, Nick?" I say, "Well, I coach actors." How often do they say, how often do I say, "Well, I'm here to end the needless suffering of all the actors on the planet"? I don't often use that in conversation. I don't quite know why, but I do with you guys. I do in specific contexts. It's very important to be clear about the context and where you're doing what. Yeah. So this is great. So Christine, does that clarify things for you? Being a healer, opening up the goals, making it a bigger purpose brings you, because I know Christine, you're an actor as well, right? So that you're actively acting and you're performing. You're in Vienna, right? Am I right? Have I got that right? This is so international, isn't it great? So that's what we're doing, right? We are healing the world. You think about it. We're connecting with people from different countries, different places, different backgrounds. All of that stuff is all happening as we're doing this. So my goals and purposes are being felt and connected to. Yeah. So I feel great because they're part of my values, what it is that I want. Yeah. That's why I love doing this kind of training. That's why I love connecting with actors. I just love it. It's part of my purpose. It just is. Yeah. So have a look at that, Lachlan. And if there's something, you want to drop me a line, we'll chat about that. If you're not clear, I'll write back and see if we can have a dialogue about that. So guys, on Friday, we're going to talk about the new behavior generator. And then next week, we're going to be going into something completely different. Okay. That's going to be very different. We're going to be talking about how we start to, maybe we'll go a little bit into mission and purpose, because I think it helps sometimes to be clear on what we're doing and why we're doing what we're doing. So we'll dive a little deeper into that. But I'm also going to talk about, negative voices and critical voices and how we beat up on ourselves and how to enter, more sort of places of self-esteem and self-confidence and stuff like that. And just two little things. The masterclass is coming. Oh, now look at this. I love this. What's Arlene said here? There you go. To create film that inspires and changes people's lives for the better, even if that is simply by taking them to another place, by entertaining them to big, epic stories that inspire and educate. Absolutely. Can you hear the way the language works? When you get into that kind of language, Ali, when you get into that sort of specificity about the bigger picture, this is what that energy will carry forth into your goals. It will carry out into your dreams as you sleep. It will go ahead into the audition rooms and the self-taping. That energy will connect with other people like that. I think that's why we met. I really do. I think it's true because we're on this wavelength and we're raising our level of energy. We're raising our level of intelligence, getting out into the world. Yeah? Yeah, absolutely, Lachlan. Yeah, I mean, anytime. Drop me a line about that. Any queries? No problem. No problem at all. So just another little thing. Yeah, the masterclass is coming, and I'm working on it as we speak. I'm building that up. If you haven't already, do sign up. It'll be left in the thing below. And another thing that I'm going to be doing soon is this. I'm just going to give you a little sneak preview. This is called How to Create a Great Self-Tape, one that connects and engages casting directors and grows your career exponentially. Does that sound interesting? Has that got you yes? How to create a great self-tape that engages casting directors. And I'm going to introduce you to the magical menu of magic bullets. That is what will change the way you think about self-taping. Right, guys, so that's me. Again, remember to subscribe. Check us all out. I'm going to play the exit music again. Hey! Ah, look at Natalie. Yay! Excellent, guys. Take care. All the very best. Have a lovely time. Enjoy your week. Enjoy the rest of the week. And I'll see you on Friday. Take care. Bring your friends along. See you soon, guys. Bye now.